Today we're going to be talking about how to research other film crowdfunding campaigns in order to set your own up for success. What's up everyone, this is Zibi from Cine Circle, where we teach you how to fund, market and distribute your indie films. So if you want to learn how you can make your own profitable indie films, simply hit that subscribe button. Okay, so let's dive straight into how you can research other film crowdfunding campaigns. The first and best thing to do is to research other crowdfunding campaigns that were successful and that were similar to yours. And the best place to do that is Kickstarter. Now, Kickstarter has a ton of different film campaigns and has some really great researching tools. So the first thing that you should do is go to Kickstarter, go to Discover, skip Collections, skip Sections, and go to Categories. Here you want to go to Film and Video. Now, say you're making a horror film, for example. You might want to click on Horror. It will then show you all the different film horror projects that have been created. But you want to narrow it down a little bit more. So, for example, if you are making your project in the United States, then perhaps you want to just look at projects that are in the US. Crowdfunding can be very different in different countries. The campaigns can be very different. So perhaps you want to look at just campaigns in the US. You want to then click on More Filters. And perhaps you just want to look at successful projects that are already completed, and perhaps ones where the goal was between 10K and 100K. And you want to look at ones where they raised over 100%. Now, the next thing that you want to take a look at is when did these campaigns happen? So what I would suggest is, instead of sorting this by magic, you want to sort it by end date. And you will then get the most sort of up-to-date campaigns at the very start. So what I would then recommend that you guys do is take a look at a bunch of these campaigns and see, okay, this one had 175 backers, 389, 103, 192. Pick one that had, at least a couple hundred backers. So for example, this one, 389 backers. Now, the reason you want to do that is because if someone crowdfunded and only got 100 backers, that probably in most cases only really gets you to about 5 or 10K. So you really want to look at ones where they got at least a couple hundred backers, because that will show you, okay, this campaign did really well. So you can see that they crowdfunded, over 70K. They had nearly 400 backers, so this is great. Let's take a look at this campaign. The first thing, that you might want to look at actually before you look at anything to do with this campaign is to see who it was created by. Now, if you look at the sort of creator of the project, you can click into them and you can see how many projects did they create and how many have they backed beforehand. Now, this is a really great project to take a look at because they only have one campaign. This is their only campaign that they created, and they backed 0 projects in the past. Now, why is this important? You'll find that there are a lot of filmmakers who are currently crowdfunding their 10th film. Therefore, they already have a built-in community on Kickstarter, and it's a lot easier for them to gain backers than it might be for you. So it's quite good to take a look at campaigns where the creators have not done many films beforehand, because then you know that the success will be attributed to the fact that their campaign page was great and their marketing was great, rather than, well, this is their 15th campaign, everyone already knows about them and therefore have been backing their campaigns for the last 10 years, because there are a lot of filmmakers like that. So this is really good. This means that, they were definitely successful because the campaign was great and not just because they're an audience that will support anything they do by now. So when we take a look at that, the first thing we want to take a look at is the updates. If you go to the updates you can take a look at, how did they update people? So, the project launched, right? And, they got 10K on the first day, which is incredible. This shows you that, this was a very successful campaign. And they also right away are reminding people, remember to share the campaign often. Don't forget, each stretch goal we hit means that everyone who backed over 40K or more will get more new items added to their order. So, they're right away already on the first day. They're trying to basically upsell you things. They're saying, promote the campaign with us and you will get more free things in exchange for that, even if you don't back anymore. So this is a great, message to have in your updates. Again, another update is almost halfway there. We're 40% of the goal. We can't thank you enough. Showing this immense gratitude is really, really important here. And say we cannot wait to begin filming this movie. The kills are at next level. The cast is amazing, and there are so many surprises that we cannot share yet. Again, they're building up this curiosity, and they're also making it about the film. A lot of filmmakers who are crowdfunding make it way too much about the money. They're just saying, we need the money, we need the money. These guys are right away saying, we can't wait for the film. This crowdfunding process, we're not here for the money, we're here to make the film. And that's definitely a really, really important message. Still going, first preview, new trailer from our team. So you can see 15 to go and a sneak peek. There's definitely new things that they're releasing on a daily basis. And, they here are reminding people, remember, this is an all or nothing campaign. What does that mean? It means that if we do not hit our goal, there is no movie. Kickstarter will not collect funds and the project is cancelled. So please share and talk to your friends about this project and let's get this done. So many surprises that I cannot even announce yet. Again, building up that urgency, building up that, curiosity. What are those surprises? But the main thing is, if you launch your campaign on Kickstarter, you want to continuously tell people this is an all or nothing crowdfunding campaign, meaning unless we get to the target, we get no money. So take a look at, all the different updates, because it will give you ideas for what you can do throughout your campaign to, share with your backers how to build urgency. Now, you also want to have as many comments as possible. So really, Kickstarter's algorithm works a little bit like Facebook and all the other social media platforms. They like engagement. So when you launch your campaign, what I truly recommend is just to have 50 people that even if they don't support the campaign, you just want them to leave a comment right away. The more comments you get, the more updates you have, the more likes on the updates you get, and the more engagement you have on your crowdfunding page, the higher it will rank and the more people will see it. So definitely have as many comments as possible. Now, before we go into the rewards and analyzing the campaign page itself, I want to show you guys one more thing, which is you should just copy the main link and go to a website called KickTrack. And now what this website does is it basically shows you some more great analytics about how this project was funded, right? And this is actually a very, very interesting graph over here, because what you can see is they got to 20K funded very, very quickly, right? It then plateaued after a couple of days, which is very, very normal on a crowdfunding campaign, right? It's quite normal for you to plateau and, in the middle of weeks for the graph to sort of to really plateau and then to go back up in the last couple of days. And what's really interesting is you then, sort of have this huge jump, around, the 5th of June or whatever it was, or sort of the 6th of May. So there's this huge jump over here where they suddenly got about 20K in 3 days. Now, this is really interesting. I would have said that they just had someone, put fake money in essentially on a fake credit card, or they had one huge backer already lined up, that was going to put money in. But I would have only said that they sort of did one of these strategies if it was the very last day or last 3 days. The fact that they did this in the middle of the campaign means that something very interesting happened over here that made them have this huge jump. So I would also dig into their social media, dig into, their updates and find out what happened here. How did they suddenly get this huge jump? But the one thing that I want to mention about KickTrack is it's great for analyzing campaigns that weren't truly successful. If you have a campaign that's not doing very well at the start, not doing well in the middle, and suddenly jumps, and raises 30K in the last 2 days, that's most likely not real. And it's most likely a fake pledge that got them to the end. So if you see any campaigns that have that, simply close that tab and open another one and look at other campaigns. But definitely, take a look at what caused this huge, rise over here. Did they have a Facebook post that went viral? Did they got a huge backer on board? Were they expecting this backer? Where did this backer come from? Take a look at it and analyze it some more. Now, let's dive a little bit into the rewards. So this is kind of a, one thing that I love doing, which is, just analyzing how many people backed each one of their rewards, and really take a look at that and see where did the bulk of the money come from. So let's start off at the top. I skipped the coffee. You want to support us but don't have a lot to give? Well, skip paying for coffee today and choose this perk and be named as a backer in the credits. So, kind of a funny, interesting way of, just giving $5. Again, you might look at that and go, oh, I'd love to, do that in my campaign. Let's do something similar, So it might give you some ideas. Then you can take a look, for example, in this campaign, right? They pledged $25. For $25, they got only 9 backers. It's quite unusual. $30, only 7 backers. $30, again, only 1 backer. $35, 21 backers. These are relatively small amounts. So I wonder, this is the pledge and this is the reward that got them a huge bulk of the money. So if you see, you might want to analyze, for example, what is it about this specific reward that got 155 backers versus one over here, which is just 35. And there seems to be only one difference, that here you get the film on DVD and here you get it on Blu-ray. Now I'm telling you, if you're launching a horror film, horror fans love their Blu-rays. You definitely want to have a reward that's a beautiful Blu-ray, designed in a, folding out case with some great graphics. Horror fans love that. They want their physical product. No horror fan wants a download of the film. They want their Blu-ray that they can put on their shelf. So this is, again, something that you can find out by researching these kinds of campaigns. You can then see, okay, for $40, original Vengeance Blu-ray, whereas here it was the second one because this is probably a sequel. So you can see in the original one, again, much less interest. So you want to see like, okay, what are some of the other rewards over here that did really well? Perhaps, some of the higher tier rewards, which were, more expensive. So over here, you have, let's just scroll down a little bit to some of the other ones. You have rewards which had 0 backers. Why did they have 0 backers? The great thing that they do over here is they show you, for example, co-producer bundle. You might be tempted to just say you get a co-producer credit. But what they did really well over here is you don't just get the co-producer credit. You get the co-producer credit and a digital music download, IMDb credit, signed script covers, signed, photo, You get the film on Blu-ray, you get a t-shirt, you get a poster, you get all of that. These kinds of rewards are very, very popular, where you've got this big bundle of products that you can actually get. Now, the other thing that I would strongly recommend with all rewards over $200 is have only 2 available at one time. Now, you can sell a lot more than 2, but have only 2 available at one time. So for example, co-producer bundle limited to 2, so that when one person gets it, there is only one left. That creates this level of scarcity and also just urgency, where someone goes on it, and if they want that reward, okay, I need to buy it right now because it might be gone by tonight, it might be gone by tomorrow. And the moment it's sold out and the 2 are gone, you can just copy the reward and create a new one so that there's 2 more. Because someone else might notice, oh, it was gone. Oh, it's back. Okay, let me quickly grab it. It creates that level of urgency that you just don't have if all of your rewards are unlimited. Scarcity is definitely a very powerful marketing tool that you should use. And again, they have the premium bundle pack and, and all of these other ones. But you can see they have a ton of rewards which are very expensive, over 1K. They have quite a few of them. And each one, has other things, different things, and is quite unique. And they got quite a lot of backers who gave them, big amounts of money, £5,000. They had one for £10,000, and indeed they had a backer. So that's really, really interesting because, for example, when this one backer got, this $10,000 reward as a hero investor, that probably gave them that huge boost, during the middle of the campaign that we saw on KickTrack. So that's really, really interesting. So this will just give you guys some ideas on, how you can, what kind of rewards you should use, how many. Here they did, very well with having a ton of rewards, 30, 40 different rewards, and, at least 10 rewards that were over $1,000. Perhaps that's the strategy you want to use, or perhaps you want to go for a lot more rewards between $100 and $1,000. It depends on your audience, it depends on your backers. And this is why you shouldn't just look at this campaign or just one campaign, but look at 30, 40, 50 different campaigns. Now, the other thing that they did really well over here in terms of the body of the campaign is they didn't just have plain text. You can see over here they have these really cool images of, the future, the cast, the past, real fiction studios. It really gives you this kind of horror, thriller, almost action vibe, which again, horror fans love that. They love this visual graphics, so this is definitely something that you want to do. Instead of just writing titles of each section, for example, meet the team or the budget or, why we want to make the film. Instead of just typing it into Kickstarter, design it, whether it's in PowerPoint or in Photoshop or whatever, graphic software you might use, design it there with some really cool fonts and graphics and paste the image into Kickstarter rather than just typing plain text in Kickstarter. So you want to have, at the start, you want to, really grab people with something. This is quite visual, although I think they could have done a lot better with, for example, actually having this main photo where when your campaign is live, this is where your video will be. They could have used this main photo right up here at the top to really show people this is what the film is going to be like. This is what it's going to feel like. You definitely want to have, the cast and, the crew, this sort of meet the team. You want to show who's part of the project. And they did that extremely well. I mean, look at the design over here. It's just so cool. You watch it and you're thinking this feels like the film. I'm really getting the feel of the film while I'm learning about the cast and the crew. You want to avoid you want to have as little plain text as possible here. So again, they did really well. Think about how can I design my own meet the team cards over here that will look really, really cool. And that will be in keeping with the tone of the film. Now, One thing that they do over here, which I would not recommend, is they have a lot of external links, which means that, you know, CJ Graham is known for his work on the Friday the 13th, so on, and a link which probably sends you to an IMDb page. Now, I would not recommend that, because the moment someone clicks on that link, they come off your crowdfunding page. And now it's a little bit more difficult for them to come back onto your crowdfunding page in order to actually support your project. So you should avoid having external links that lead away from your campaign. Once someone comes on this Kickstarter page, you want them to stay on this page until they support your campaign. So you can see over here, again, super graphic, you know, really cool. This is something that people on Kickstarter, on crowdfunding, you know, they really love these kinds of graphic design. So I would actually really strongly recommend looking at this, at this campaign. And again, for example, the perks. You want to physically show them, this is what it's going to look like. This is what you're going to have on your bookshelf. And it's, it just shows you like, this is going to be so cool. This is what the poster is going to be like, or the script, and it's going to be signed. And it shows you, you look at that, and isn't this so much more appealing than just a line saying digital download of the film? You want to show them, okay, this is what's going to be in my living room on my shelf in a few months' time. Yes, I want it. I'm willing to give $40 for that. And people are a lot more willing to get these kinds of, to give away money for these kinds of physical products that they can see on their crowdfunding page than they are for a digital download. And again, just, the graphics are just incredible over here. So, graphic design is extremely important for these kinds of campaigns. And, sort of the artists, the songs, stretch goals, that they had over here. So they obviously got over their goal, and, they had some stretch goals, which are, again, just so visual. And when you look at this page, you know exactly what the film is going to feel like, what it's going to, what it's going to be like. And it just makes you want to watch it. It makes you want to support it. It makes you want to get all the merch. So this is definitely a great campaign that I would recommend taking a look at. And just take a look at 30, 40, 50 different others. Take a look at some really bad ones as well to see what did they do wrong. And if you learn from all these other crowdfunding campaigns, that's what's going to help you create a highly converting film crowdfunding campaign. I hope you found this video useful and you now know how to research film crowdfunding campaigns to set your own up for success. If you'd like to learn more about how you can fund, market, and distribute your own profitable indie feature films, then smash that subscribe button.